It is a complete entertainer, but it is an entertainment with a message, it deals with a socially relevant cause. I don't think he had the time. I think he was too busy getting hurt and too busy jumping from tree to tree. I think I was a bad model, frankly speaking. I wanted to do Tamil and Telugu films because by then I was watching quite a few. I couldn't have asked for a better debut in Tamil films than Madras. I said, what's my name in the film? He's like, MLA. I said, no, what's my real name? He's like, some Harshita or something, but we are never revealing that. I'm like, then how will people talk to me? They'll just call you MLA Garu. I'm like, okay. Kathanayakan is a really funny film. It was really light. I think Sarinodu was my best working experience with him.
Hi viewers, welcome to a new episode of Cinema Pe Islam. We have the gorgeous Catherine Teresa with us. Hi Catherine.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
You release Kadamman is releasing on Friday.
Yes.
So can you just tell us about the Kadamman?
So did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. It's very different.
Yeah, it looks different. So basically that was the whole idea, that was the director's vision, you know, when he came up with the script and when we started this project. It was to tell a message that was socially relevant today, in today's times, against a forest backdrop and in a very refreshingly new way. So it's not that we've made a documentary or we've not made like, you know, it's not a very factual film where you only have facts like a documentary. It is a complete entertainer, but it is an entertainment with a message, it deals with a socially relevant cause, and it's been told in a very commercial format. So that was basically the director's idea when we started out on this film. He had a very ambitious vision for the film. Like the scale that the film is made on is massive. You know, when you see like the framing and the visuals, they're all absolutely huge. So I think that's why it looks refreshing. And our looks in the film are so different. I don't think anyone's ever seen Arya the way he looks right now. So he's gone through this complete makeover. He had a certain image right until this point, and I think that image is going to be broken, if that's the right word, with this film. That is definitely for sure, and this is going to be like a huge feather in his cap. Likewise for me, I've never attempted a story like this. I've never attempted a character like this. Frankly speaking, this is the hardest that I've ever had to work. It was very tough for me to shoot this particular film. Not in terms of performance. You know, the work for me between action and cut, like the actual shots, were easy. I like performing. I like entertaining. I like acting. But the circumstances that we were shooting under were not. What can you say? Were not conducive. Were not very supportive.
Very remote.
Right. It's very remote in the sense it's literally in the middle of nowhere. Like there are no approach roads. So we would drive up. You know, you have to change a car and then get into a jeep. So the jeep will also stop at a certain point.
You have to walk.
The jeep, yeah, you have to walk. So every day you will have to walk at least 2 to 3 kilometers to reach the spot. And the terrain is so slopey, or you know, there is nothing to put your foot on really, so you don't really have balance. So I needed 2 people to hold me, and we walk and we get to
like it's risky. It's a lot of risks involved.
Yeah, so we'll walk at and our director and the hero keep joking about me quite a bit. They're like, okay, because they're standing at a height and they can see when I start walking up. And we walk in a train, like there'll be 3 people in front, 3 people in back, and we'll all hold hands and we walk like this. We need the support.
We support. So
yes. And I shot the whole film, all of us in fact, in the film, not just me and Arya, all of the other artists as well, we shot without any footwear that was required for the character. So all of the dancing, the running, the jumping was, you know, without your shoes on. So you end up getting scratched and cut every single day. So the first 2 days you'll think like, oh my God, why am I doing this? This is crazy. This is utter madness. But then after a point you get used to it, like, okay, fine, some more today, and it's okay, we'll disinfect it and keep going. So that's what it was like for me. But I knew when I took up this film, I knew what it entailed. I knew what it meant. It's not like I came there and I got a shock, but I took it up because of the role that was offered to me, because of the plot of the film. The plot of the film is extremely strong. I loved it, and the emotions in this film are all correct, and they're very strong. And that is basically, when you watch a film, that is what the audience connects with. Like, even if I'm watching a movie and if there is no emotional connect, even if the visuals are great and everything, you walk out of the film and you don't remember nothing, So emotions are what is universal.
Okay.
That's what connects people to a certain film. And that was absolutely right in this film.
Okay.
That was very strong. That is one of the director's strong points, Raghav Sir's strong points. Like, even in his previous film, Manjapai, it ran solely on emotions.
That's
and
true.
he's very good at handling that. He's very good at treating that. And he's done that again in this film, but I should say better. I definitely think the emotions were handled better. So that was definitely the reason why I wanted to do this movie. And besides that, the character that was offered to me, her name is Radhi. Radhi is like, she is this tribal girl. She's really bold. She speaks her mind. She's uninhibited. She says what she thinks. She's got an attitude and things like that. At the same time, when she's talking to the guy that she likes, and when she's flirting with him and things like that, she becomes all very cute and a little childish.
We could see something on the trailer also about.
Yeah. So I think, but that's nice. Those shades in a character is nice, and I think that's very realistic, because that's how it is in real life as well. You might be a very strong person, but if you're really in love with somebody, you kind of you soften up for that person. So it was nice for me to portray those different shades, and I love the role. There's so much of scope for it. There's so much of space for it in the film. There's so much of meat and so much of substance, and I like to do roles that have that kind of space in a film. I don't like to do stuff that where that just requires me to come and go with the snap of a finger. Basically, if I'm in a film, I like to do something.
Makes sense.
Yeah, of course. There's no point of coming and doing nothing. So this film gave me all of that. So I took it up irrespective of the situation, the circumstances. And it was tough on everyone in the film. But we did it because we really believed in the movie.
Because you were someone who was born and brought up in Dubai, and now you live in Bangalore. So more a Hyderabad, like more a city urban girl. Exactly. So this is totally a contrast.
Yeah, it was a complete contrast. I've never experienced something like this before. Never, actually. I mean, in theory, when I knew I was taking up this film, and my manager and a lot of other people told me, you know what this means. This is not a regular movie. You're really going to have to tough it out. And I said, yeah, I know. But when I reached the actual place, when I reached the place that we were staying at, it kind of did shock me, because you have nothing. We were staying in someone's guest house, somebody's farmhouse, which we rented out because there are no hotels or anything. The farmhouse was nice. It was made well. It was a wood house. And but there was nothing else. You have no network, no Wi-Fi. The current comes and goes. Thank God it was cool.
You're traveling in time backwards.
Yeah, there's nothing around. Food was a problem. Our assistant would have to travel at least like 20 to 25 kilometers just for your basics, like the veggies and your chicken and fish and stuff like that. So nothing's available. Petrol for the generator in the house is also really far away. The bunk is far away. So that takes time. There's no television. Nothing basically. So it did shock me a little bit. It took me like around 6 to 7 days to get accustomed and get adjusted to the whole thing. But once I did, I liked living there. It has a certain sense of peace. It showed that you can still have a nice time without your cell phone working. And I did. In fact, all of us did. The director, Arya, we all had such a lovely time without our phones working. We all lived in the same house. We'd have our food cooked in the house, and there was this lovely dog in the house that I grew very fond of, and I started feeding him every day. And when I come back, he'd come up and jump at me. So it became really lovely. So much so that I think I missed the house a little when I left. Not the shooting conditions, just the house. And the dog. His name was Kumar. He's really cute.
It's nice. And Arya is known as a prankster. Did he play any pranks on you?
I don't think he had the time. I think he was too busy getting hurt and too busy jumping from tree to tree. No, he didn't play any pranks on me whatsoever. No, not at all, in fact.
Okay. Just going back a few years back, like when you moved from Dubai to India, like was acting or modeling? I mean, was that your mind as a career or?
No, not at all. I moved to pursue my graduation. After 12th grade, I moved to Bangalore to do my graduation. And I wanted to do, I did a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Botany and Biotechnology. So that was the plan. And the plan was to keep studying further, to do an MSc and so on and so forth. But when I was in college and I was, as a child and even in high school, I was always someone, I was a very good student, but I was always someone who would be part of lots of other curricular activities. I was someone who loved, being on stage, and my parents were widely supportive of me. They were like, as long as you're getting your grades, we'll support you to do whatever it is that you want, but grades are number one. You have to score. So I was a good student that way, but I was doing a whole bunch of other things. So I'm very used to multitasking. So when I shifted to Bangalore, first of all, I know nobody, and it was a big change for me. You know, society and the culture, the roads, the living style, everything was different. The people, they're all different. So, and I started going to college, and just going to college and coming back home was really boring for me. So I wanted to go out, I wanted to meet people, I wanted to, get into circles where I can, make friends, like how I was in Dubai. So like in Dubai, I was part of Toastmasters. I would debate a lot.
Okay.
I used to volunteer for the Emirates Environmental Group. So I like that. I like doing things that are socially relevant as well. So in Bangalore, inevitably, I had no clue how. I started modeling, but I call it very amateurish. I wouldn't say there was anything serious. It was just something that I did as a hobby in the evening, because I like multitasking so much. And I did it also because of the pocket money.
Okay.
When you're in college, you can never have enough money. Yeah, you just want to keep going out and things like that. So that's what happened. And while I was doing that, I never took it seriously. I think I was a bad model, frankly speaking. People told me that...
Surprised to hear that. When we look at you, when you say you're a bad model, I'm not able to relate to
I
it.
really think so. And a lot of people told me that you're a bad model and you'd be a better actor than a model. I said, acting, me, no way. I have to study. I can't, I'm not doing any of that. But then a lot of people kept saying that again and again. And there were a lot of film offers. And then there was one that caught my interest. And... I said, okay, I'm just going to try this. I don't know, something pushed me to try it. And I did it, and I really loved it. I loved it a lot. And then one more came by, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this one as well. And that's sort of when I decided that I really want to do this. This is what I want to do. And I was very clear at that. My first film was in Kannada, actually. And at that time, I was very clear that I wanted to do Tamil and Telugu films, because by then I was watching quite a few. And I loved the kind of films that are made in Tamil and Telugu. I just love them. The scale on which it's made, the kind of subjects that are told, the kind of characters that are written, especially for women, I don't think are written anywhere else, not even in Hindi. Some of the characters that are written for female leads are so brilliant. The way films are made, the kind of technicians that we have are outstandingly talented, and I wanted to be part of both these industries. So I made the change, and I made a conscious move to Hyderabad, and I started pursuing only Telugu and Tamil films, seriously.
And among your movies, Madras is known for your acting, and you won awards for Madras. Quite a few awards, And how was it, acting in Madras, and how do you see Madras in your career? Like working with Karthi and Ranjit. Since then gone to Gabali, and he's become a big director. Right. So how was the whole experience of Madras, and how do you see the movie in your career?
Madras for me was it came after a film called Idra Mailto in Telugu, which is considered by me and many as like my first real big break in Telugu films, you know. And I quickly, immediately after that was when I did Madras. It was a very striking contrast to my work in Nidra Malka. I couldn't have asked for a better debut in Tamil films than Madras. For when I took up the film, a lot of people told me that I should have, you know, when they saw like the trailer and stuff and they saw my look in the film, a lot of people told me that I should have probably gone with a more commercial film as a debut, you know, where like a typical commercial debut as a heroine. And I was like, I just said okay. That's what I like. Okay, because I did not know at that point. I was like, they might be right, they might be wrong. But I took up the film because I liked the character. It was a lovely character.
Yeah,
it was so strong, and I have a thing for characters like that. I have like a penchant for characters like that are that strong, and it was nice. And that was the first time that I've done a film where I had to be in a housing board again. So at that point of time, that was a little bit of a shocker.
Challenge.
But compared to that, this was a much bigger shocker. Kadamban was a huge shocker compared to that. That made that condition look like peanuts, frankly. So, and working with Ranjit was really lovely because, first of all, when I did that film, I had no idea about Tamil. Tamil was as alien to me as Greek. Frankly, I had no clue. Now I know. Now at least if you're speaking to me in Tamil, I understand everything that you're saying. When I have my lines, I know what it means. You know, whether the translation is given to me or not, I understand at least 60% of what is written there. But at that point, I did not know anything. It was my first film. So we did a workshop. In fact, me and Ranjit and Karthi and all of us, we had quite an extensive workshop because this film again required a certain flavor that is not, it's not something that you can just come in and start shooting for, you know. So we had a workshop, and where I started watching a lot of Tamil channels, and I started listening to a lot of radio channels in the car just to get the language, just to get the hang of the language. Took all my lines in advance. I still do that till date. No matter what film, I take all my lines in advance. I believe in, you know, doing my homework before I come to the set. So I did that, and Ranjit gave me my space as an actor. Like, you know, he was like, he told me, see, this is the thing. It's not like what you did in Telugu. It's not like that. This is different. This is, you know, this is how I want my film to be. This is how I want Kalaidasi to be. And I was like, okay, all right. So I got into that. It required me to empty my mind and, you know, just get into that zone. It was a zone, and I think that's pretty much how it worked out.
Yeah, that's nice because, as you said, you can't ask for a better debut than...
I could not have asked for a better debut than Madras. It's such a strong film. The film is strong. My character in the film is strong. The team was lovely. It worked out so well commercially. I could not have asked for a better debut, frankly.
Yeah. And moving to Telugu, Sarainadu is one of your biggest blockbusters. The biggest one, money spinner. Yes. And if you have people like you as MLAs in the real world, I'm sure the voting percentage would go up in India. I wish, you know. How was the thing, you know, MLA? It's very different, you know, character for a young heroine to portray, and, you know, the whole experience of Sarainadu.
When Boyapati sir called me, I met him, and he told me that the character is that of an MLA. And I'm like, you mean like Minister of the Legislative Assembly? That's what you mean? He's like, yeah, that's what I mean. And I was like, okay. And this is the role for the heroine. And he said, yes. He's like, hear me out. I said, okay. I said, what's my name in the film? He's like, MLA. I said, no, what's my real name? He's like, some Harshita or something, but we are never revealing that. I'm like, then how will people talk to me? They'll just call you MLA Garu. I'm like, okay. I'm like, at no point of time will you say MLA the name.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I said, okay. He said, that's what makes it interesting. I said, all right. I heard him out, and I liked it. And he's a very, what can you say, he acts when he narrates. You know, he's like, he will stand up and he'll tell you the whole scene, he will enact it for you. So he's got that much of energy. And he literally enacted the whole film for me. And he enacted my bits and how he wanted it to be. And it was so entertaining. And there was this one scene that I sat in the office and I started clapping. And it was really entertaining. It was humorous. It was funny. The dialogues were amazing. And like you said, you don't get to see characters like that. And I have to thank him for giving me that particular character, because it was such a standout. It just stands out among the rest of, you know, the general characters that you see on screen. These kind of characters don't really come your way like every single day. So I took it up, and I think
the rest
I did
is history.
it well. The rest is history. It was lovely. I loved filming it. It's such a pleasant ride. The whole film was so pleasant.
And Vishnu Vishal is a good friend of us, and he has shown some songs from your upcoming Kathanayagan.
He showed you?
Yeah, on his phone.
Oh yeah,
I
know he shows everyone on his phone. He showed me also on his phone. He's like, look at the song. I said, okay. You saw the song?
Yeah, a couple of songs he has shown 2 different times. So how is it, you know, working with him, and how is Kathanayagan, you think, has come up?
Kathanayagan is a really funny film. It was really light. I started shooting for Kathanayagan like almost simultaneously with Kadamban. So it was nice, what can you say, break, you know, to go and do that film, because that film is really light. It's such a light-hearted family entertainer. And in the film, I look very different from what I look like in Kadamban. And it's an extremely funny film. It's been made very, very well. I play like this. I play a very typical Chennai, an urban Chennai girl in the movie. The look is nice, and the songs are lovely. I love the conceptualization of the songs. The picturization is beautiful. I'm waiting for that film to come out as well. I think we're
June,
ready. I think June. Yeah, June is when we're scheduled to come. That should be interesting.
I know.
It's got an interesting title. It's like Hero. So filmy. It's very filmy.
And do you follow the Tamil film industry? Do you watch big star movies like Ajit, Vijay, Surya?
I try, you know, whenever I can.
Do you have any favorites among the stars? Or?
No, not really. They all have their own strengths, and they all have their own qualities, you know, their own uniqueness. I respect them and I admire them for their uniqueness. I always say that, you know, I don't think it's right to compare one with the other, because I myself don't like being compared. It's not, you don't, because actually you don't have a basis for comparison. So if you don't have a basis, you shouldn't really compare. Every one of them has their own individual strengths, which is why they are individual stars. So you have to respect them for that, and I definitely do. They're fantastic. And as far as watching the films is concerned, I don't watch as many films as I should. I probably should change that. That's probably one thing that I should change. I don't really watch too many movies.
And you are not very active on social media. Is there any reason for not active?
It's not that it's not intentional. It's absolutely not intentional. I swear I'm trying to be now. Yeah, I'm slightly more active on Facebook than on the other platforms. But yeah, I think I should be a little more active.
You have done movies in all the 4 South languages. So is Bollywood in your mind? Like, because when I see you, I think you're as good for Bollywood. So does that come to your mind?
No, it's not something that I've thought about. It's not something that I'm working on, or I'm not making any effort in that direction whatsoever. Right now, for the moment, I'm really happy with what I'm doing in Tamil and Telugu. I think it's good, and like I said, the characters that I've been getting here are really interesting. I don't see that happening. Those kind of characters are happening in Bollywood. So for the moment, I'm very happy with what I'm doing over here.
How was the experience of working with stylish star Allu Arjun?
I worked with him the most. I think I've done like 3 films with him. So I think Sarinodu was my best working experience with him. And what can I say about him? He's been different in all the 3 films. Like I think he has been growing in all the 3 films. You know, when you talk to him as a person, when you see him as an actor, he is someone who works on himself with every film, and you do get to learn a lot from that. You know, when you do movies with him, like the way I've done. So he does believe in a lot of, he does improve on his skills with every film, and I think that's really important for an actor to keep upping your game so that you don't go stagnant on screen and you're not doing the same thing over and over again. So he's someone who takes that very seriously. He takes his training very, very seriously, his practice and things like that very seriously. I really like that. He's got a fantastic energy about him, really fantastic. He's a very positive person, and he has a nice attitude. I really love that. It's great to shoot with him.
That's nice. And you have one movie coming up with Rana Daggubati, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you tell us something about the movie?
Well, I can't tell you much, but the film is definitely one of its kind, and I have another one of a kind sort of character that I don't think has ever been done, by a female lead in Telugu cinema before. The film, as such, for that matter, even Rana in the film, I don't think has been attempted by any other hero. And the film is directed by Teja, and it's a fantastic film. It's really, really cool. I think it's going to be a trendsetter.
Okay. With this note, we wish you all the success for Kadamban and all your upcoming projects.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Thank you.